Who are the most underrated fighters in the UFC? Well, today, guys, we are going to be working out. I've got a few fighters all around the screen, and I'm going to be dragging and dropping them into where I think they belong in this tier list. Obviously, S being the guys that I think are extremely, extremely underrated, all the way down to guys that are in the F tier who are, I still think they're still underrated. However, a lot more people think they're good, and it's a bit more well known that they're better than a lot of people think they are. And yeah, I'm MMA Tizzer. Welcome to the video. Subscribe if you're new so you don't miss any future MMA content. I do content like this every single day. And leave a like if you enjoyed the video. And without further ado, let's get right into this tier list. Starting off with the bantamweight, Rob Font. Now, I'm going to put Rob Font in B tier because Rob Font gets written off a lot because we all know that Rob Font has a very bad chin. And that is true, Rob Font's chin actually sucks. It's terrible. He has one of the worst chins in the bantamweight division in its entirety. And truth be told, if Rob Font didn't have a bad chin, he would undoubtedly have been champion. Okay, because this guy, his striking is so good. He's so good. His boxing is insane. This guy's jab is next level. Like, when you come into top 15, if you've never been in top 15 before and you're a bantamweight, this guy will expose you. He is the fraud checker of the division. He fraud checked Adrian Yanez. I thought Adrian Yanez was just going to out hustle him, but then I remembered that Rob Font will fraud check any bantamweight, and he fraud checked him so hard. He literally jabbed his face off, and within about a minute, he'd already literally done like 2 rounds worth of damage from any other bantamweight. It was crazy. This guy's jab is super alive, super dangerous. He's got hands. His combos are slick. Very fast hands. Even though I think he's like 34, 35, he's still really fast. His grappling's alright too. He can survive on the ground. He isn't absolutely clueless on the ground. He's got good cardio. And just the only thing that lets him down is his chin. However, as long as he's not fighting a power puncher, I really don't think he's in danger. Obviously, his most well-known performance as of recent is the one against Marlon Vera, where he got nearly finished at the end of multiple rounds and then lost a decision. However, if you go back and watch that fight, Font was in control for about 80% of the entire fight, okay? And then he just let it slip at certain times and would get unluckily hit by one hook or a straight, and he can't take them. You know what I mean? He just couldn't take the hits, and he began to crumble. But he still lost, but he never got finished. But yeah. So Rob Font, very underrated fighter, great striker. I think this guy beats a lot of people in the division. Anyone who basically isn't a power puncher or isn't like a very, very lethal striker. And unfortunately, he is fighting Sandhagen on short notice, which is one of his nightmare matchups, in my opinion, because, we all know how dangerous Sandhagen is on the feet. Knees, kicks, elbows, stuff like that, basically Rob Font's nightmare. He should have fought someone else who had a little bit less danger on the feet, but, best of luck to the guy. We move on to another fighter, Johnny Walker. Now, Johnny Walker, I'm going to put Johnny in B as well, because Johnny is somewhat similar to Font in the way that people write him off because he has a bad chin. And Johnny Walker does have a bad chin, okay? It's not good. This guy's took a lot of damage, especially for one of the younger light heavyweights. And truth be told, I really do think this guy can be champion because, his boxing's improving, his striking's improving. But one of the advantages he has over a lot of the light heavyweights is that he's very, very athletic. This guy can jump. He's exceptionally strong. In my opinion, he probably is the strongest light heavyweight. He's in the top 3 at least, that's for sure. He's very, very dangerous in the first 2 rounds especially. And this guy's got good cardio, I'm not saying that like he gasses instantly. He's got a good gas tank. He's in shape, he's athletic like I said. But he's just very strong, very dangerous. And it means that even if you're a better grappler than him, there's a good chance he'll get the better of the exchanges because, he's just stronger and he's bigger. He's one of the biggest light heavyweights. Him and Pereira now and Nchukwu, in my opinion, they're probably the 3 biggest light heavyweights that I can think of. And rumour has it, according to John Kavanagh, Johnny Walker may be making a move up to heavyweight in the future, which I can see in 2-3 years maybe. And honestly, I think it'll go well as long as he just avoids the power punchers. I think he'll be fine. But his liability is his chin. He can be winning an entire fight, and it will just go downhill when he gets hit by that big shot. We saw against Jamal Hill. We've seen it in other fights. We've seen it on the regional scene, and it is the curse that Johnny Walker will have to live with for the rest of his career. But if he can navigate good striking, good head movement, good blocking, he may actually find a way to the belt. And I truly do believe that he actually has a pretty solid chance of getting the belt, guys. I'm not even kidding. Okay, we move on. Another fighter. Now, I'm putting Paul Craig here, okay? Because Paul Craig at middleweight will do well, okay? I really do think that. I think at middleweight he's going to have an absolutely amazing time. Light heavyweight, was he too small? I think he was. And also, when you're a grappler and you're small, it's not good, is it? If you're striking and you're small, it's not the end of the world, because striking doesn't really rely on as much physicality. But being a grappler, you want to be big, you want to be heavy, you want to be stronger, you want to be heavier than your opponent so you can, exert your force in them. And Paul Craig was rarely that in light heavyweight. This guy, I bet he didn't even cut, to be honest. Hardly cut, I imagine. Wasn't very big at light heavyweight. And he was fighting guys like Johnny Walker, who I've just mentioned. And Johnny Walker, he must have had like 20 pounds on this guy, bare minimum. So, not very good for him. But now he's in middleweight. Really, really, really good performance against Andre Muniz. I did think he'd win that fight by second round finish. I said sub, but I also said he could get a fluky KO. It wasn't really fluky. I was expecting more like an up kick, or maybe like he broke his arm and the fight had to be stopped. But he just took top mount and battered him. So fair enough. Paul Craig is legit. On the ground, this guy is insane. And this guy couldn't take anyone down at heavyweight, okay? This guy failed so many takedowns at light heavyweight. And then you look at him at middleweight, this guy's shooting double legs like he's GSP, you know what I mean? He's shooting double legs like he's prime DC in the octagon. So it really, really changed him around. He looks way better. He's much bigger. And a lot of guys in middleweight are terrible on the ground. So I think he actually can do really well. I mean, we've just seen Dricus du Plessis manhandle Robert Whittaker on the ground. So honestly, I'm scared that he might sub Whittaker. Like, we might have some crazy world where Paul Craig beats Robert Whittaker. But anyway, he's a few fights off that anyway for now. And Paul Craig, legit fighter. I think he'll do well. I think he's going to get a lot of submission wins. And to be honest, on the feet, he is basic, but he isn't that bad, especially at middleweight, because the competition's not as dangerous on the feet. We move on. Another fighter, another middleweight actually. Jared Cannonier. He's going in C, okay, because Jared Cannonier has a lot of people that says he's good, but a lot of people write him off. But you got to realise with Jared is that he beats basically like everyone but three people in the middleweight division, and those three people are Robert Whittaker, the champion Adesanya, and maybe du Plessis. He might not beat him, but basically more or less everyone else that I can think of, he beats them. And is he on EPO? Yeah, he is. He's 40 and he never gasses, even though he has insane muscle mass and really high volume. But this guy's boxing's pretty good. Obviously he outstruck Vittori. I mean, that isn't really hard. He's got solid wrestling. His wrestling's pretty good. He's got a decent chin. It's good enough. He can take pretty big shots from middleweights. And he's got hands. So you put that in combination, and this guy's already better than 95% of the middleweights on the roster, and he's getting good success. And this guy must be the best 40-year-old on the roster. He's got better as he's got older, which makes absolutely no sense. And there's only one possible explanation for that, and I'm sure you guys know what I'm talking about. But Jared Cannonier, he's legit. I think he beats a lot of people. You never know. He has like a 1 in 10 chance of clipping Izzy if they have that rematch, but I don't really know what's going on. I think him and Whittaker would be a good rematch to run back, because Jared looks like he's actually got better. But having said that, he might crack Whittaker's chin again, so we'll see. It'd be a good matchup for him. And then Jared Cannonier 40, he should stick around a bit longer until he loses, I say, because you can't retire when you're fighting this well for a 40-year-old. We move on. Another fighter, a heavyweight, Sergey Spivak. So Sergey's good. He's got really good grappling. We all know that. But the thing is, he's got basically better grappling than 95% of the heavyweight division. So he beats 95% of the heavyweight division, right? Because if it's not going his way in the feet, he can just shoot and he'll get it. We saw it against Derek Lewis. We've seen it against countless people. And this guy's actually amassed really big win streaks. He's had a lot of them. He had a really big one, but then Tom Aspinall halted it. But honestly, there's no shame in losing to Aspinall. Like, Aspinall is top 3, top 2 guys in the division, so there's no shame in losing to him. Tom Aspinall is an insane fighter, and other than that, this guy hasn't really lost to anyone bad. All his losses are like really, really legit fighters who you wouldn't be ashamed to lose to. And on the feet, this guy ain't too bad either. Obviously, I know he got knocked out by Aspinall, but like I said, Aspinall's slick on the feet. He's probably the fastest heavyweight we've ever seen, and really good fighter. He may well beat Gan. Gan's wrestling is terrible on the feet. I do think Gan will have the advantage, But on the ground, we all know that Cyril Gane just decided to forget how to grapple whatsoever in his last match, so I really have no confidence in him. But yeah, Sergey Spivak, he can beat a lot of the division just on his better grappling than them. He's one of the better heavyweight grapplers, and yeah, that's the fight. Yeah, Sergey Spivak, C tier. We move on. Alex Pereira. Now, Alex, a lot of people like Alex, but a lot of people say he's bad. But I'm just going to say to you, right, guys, if you say Alex Pereira isn't good, you got to remember that this guy's knocked out Adesanya. And not only has no one ever knocked out Adesanya in the UFC, he outstruck Jan Blachowicz last weekend, and Adesanya couldn't outstrike Jan Blachowicz. So, say what you want to say, but this guy has the best offensive, striking in the UFC, probably, right? He's got the best striking, I'd say. He's the most dangerous person on the feet. Very, very, very lethal. Insane power, insane speed and accuracy for such a heavy dude. Quick, just all around dangerous. This guy on the feet, you can't look away. You have to be glued to your screen because you never know what's going to happen. And he just always seems to find the KO blow. Like when it was against Michailidis, he found the flying knee. When it was against Adesanya, he finally found the left hook. You know what I mean? So it's stuff like that. When it was against Strickland, he found the left hook. So you see the patterns, and people say he's terrible on the ground, and they said Jan was going to destroy him and take him down and immediately choke him out. And they were saying oh well, if Adesanya did that, look what Blachowicz can do. Well, we've just seen Blachowicz can't do anything with Pereira on the ground. Okay, he took him down. He did nothing though, okay? In fact, Pereira actually did more in the third round on the fight. He landed elbows. At least he landed something, unlike Jan. But the point is, Pereira is he kind of easy to take down? Kind of. However, if you take him down, it isn't really doing anything other than winning you a decision. So, or maybe not even doing that if you land no damage like Jan Blachowicz. So the point I'm trying to make is he's not clueless on the ground. Will he probably lose to some of the better grapplers in the division like Ankalaev? Yes, on the ground it'll be a lot more dangerous against them, but people exaggerate how bad this guy's in the ground. And the reason I'm putting him so low is because a lot of people rate Pereira, but it just annoys me that people write him off for his bad grappling, where in reality he's not a sitting duck like a lot of people make him out to be. We move on. Sean Strickland. Now, Sean Strickland's going in F tier, okay? Because, is Sean Strickland an amazing fighter? No, he's not. However, he's in middleweight, okay? So we're comparing him to other middleweights. Is he better than most of the middleweights? Yes, okay? This guy only loses to the top guys. And the reason being is just because Sean is moderately good at everything, okay? His striking is basic, but it's good, okay? He can put you away. He outstrikes a lot of people. He'll outstrike you if you're not good at boxing. His wrestling is good. It's moderately good to okay. He'll out-wrestle anyone who doesn't know how to wrestle. And then the guys who can wrestle, he can do enough to basically, neutralize their offensive wrestling. His cardio's good. His chin's good, his chin's solid. It's okay. And in middleweight, that's all you need to succeed because it is one of the worst divisions in the UFC. It's probably the worst men's division, to be honest. We just kind of saw that confirmed after a lot of light heavyweights have been going down and smoking middleweights. But yeah, Sean Strickland F tier, this guy, he isn't amazing, but he's better than a lot of people give him credit. They're like, oh my God, he's so bad. Well, compare him to his competition because that's the only fair way of doing it, and he's better than most of them, okay? So let's just give him a bit of respect for that. It's middleweight after all. We move on. D tier, Grant Dawson. Now, Grant Dawson, no one really says Grant Dawson's bad, but this guy, no one really knows who he is. A lot of casual fans won't know him. He's just been flying under the radar, which is crazy because he's got one loss and he's got like 20 wins. And if you look at his wins, he's beaten lots of good wrestlers, and this guy dominated Damir Ismagulov, and you're probably thinking, and what does that matter? Damir Ismagulov, what's so special about that? Well, if we look at Arman Sarukian, who is, a kind of a fan favorite and the guy that a lot of people are saying is going to, grow up and improve and beat Makachev because of their first fight, he fought Ismagulov and he struggled, okay? That was a close fight. He struggled. Did he win it? Yes, but it wasn't easy by any means, okay? Grant Dawson destroyed Ismagulov, okay? Ismagulov basically had no good moments in that fight. And then Grant Dawson made it look like training, like wrestling training. So, there you go. Grant Dawson's wrestling is so legit. He's got good cardio. He didn't look tired. On the feet, he's okay. He can do enough to basically get it to the ground. He's more or less American Khabib, okay? This guy's going to be looking for a choke. And if not, he's just quite happy, like, dragging you to the ground, tiring out, getting in good positions. And he's really good on the ground, trains out of ATT, so you can see where this skill is coming from. And yeah, Grant Dawson, he's one to look out for. I think he beats a lot of lightweights. Some of the older guys in the top five, the top five, top six, top seven, they better be careful because, Dustin Poirier's coming off a loss. This is a bad matchup for you, Dustin. This guy is definitely going to out wrestle you. So, I'd stay clear if you're looking for an easy fight at this point in your career. We move on. Another fighter. Song Yadong. Now, I'm only putting Song Yadong down here because he's all, some people do rate him, and I'm one of them. But the reason being is people don't realize how good this guy's striking is. Does he have losses to Corey Sandhagen? Yes, he did get outstruck, but you gotta realize the guy was 24, okay, and he put up a fight. Corey Sandhagen is a lot older. He's learned so much more, and he's got way more experience. So to make it that competitive against such a high level fighter, it just shows that you've got a good future ahead of you. And this guy's boxing is really slick. I mean, you saw what he did to Ricky Simon, however you want to say it. Legit boxing. I've always said it. I'm a big Song Yadong fight. I've been watching his fights for years, and I really do think this guy's got a good future ahead of him. Obviously, he's not incredibly underrated, but a lot of people just kind of they write him off. They don't look at him in bantamweight as a champion. They never think he'll be anything. But give it 3 years, give it 2 years. This guy will be up there. I can guarantee you that. So yeah, look out for Song Yadong. He is one for the future, certainly. We move on to another fighter, Jeff Neal. Now, again, Jeff Neal, Jeff Neal isn't championship material, okay? Okay, I'm not going to say that. I'm not here to lie to you about Jeff Neal, okay? But this guy's boxing's really good, and it's similar to, not his boxing, but his wins are similar to Spivak in the way that this guy's only really lost to good people, more or less, okay? He beats all the guys he should beat. He doesn't really have any embarrassing losses, and he loses to the guys that you're thinking, well, that's, there's no shame in that. He's one of the better guys in the division. So that's just how it is. Lost to Wonder Boy, lost to Shavkat, but this guy nearly derailed the hype train of Shavkat Rakhmonov, and that's what I'm saying about Jeff Neal. He's tough, really tough. He's got decent cardio. His chin is insane, okay? This guy, he's a brawler. He'll brawl. But most importantly, very, very crisp boxing, okay? Power, accuracy, combos, this guy's got the whole lot. Very dangerous. And Ian Gary should be scared because, we've seen that Jeff Neal is locked in. And Ian Gary needs to be careful because this is undoubtedly the best person he's ever fought. He's gone from D-Rod to basically fighting D-Rod on steroids. And if I had to describe Jeff Neal, I guess I could say he's what Daniel Rodriguez wishes he was, he's basically Daniel Rodriguez with basically twice as fast boxing and way more power and actually athletic. He just doesn't get bullied around and ragdolled by any fighter who's actually athletic. So yeah, Jeff Neal, good fighter. Some people don't realize how good he is, and this guy will beat a lot of guys. And if there's a hype train that needs derailed, he'll do it. He'll smoke them. He'll bring them to deep waters that they've never been before, and they will crumble. But yeah, so that is that. And then we move on to another fighter, heavyweight, Alexander Volkov. Now, I'm putting him in D tier because, I don't think he's as underrated as Spivak. But again, Volkov is good, okay? Now, a lot of people dismiss him, but this guy actually beats, everyone, like I said, he should. And in heavyweight, that's not really a common theme. A lot of people lose to terrible fighters. But in reality, this guy's only lost to the best guys. Like Gan, he's lost to Gan. You expect that. When Volkov ain't going to wrestle, he's going to lose to Gan. He lost to Aspinall. No shame in that. Aspinall had been smoking everybody. So, like I said, Spivak's lost to Gan as well. And, this guy's TKO'd a lot of good people. Rosenstrike. He has a Derek Lewis loss, but I'm going to put that down to a fluke because he was winning the fight. But yeah, this guy's pretty dangerous. He's got a really weird body type, and a lot of heavyweights will struggle with that because there's literally no replicating it. I doubt you can find a sparring partner who actually is that big. And if this guy put on muscle mass, it would be over, okay? Because, if this guy had mad power, it would be crazy. He'd literally be like the Russian Terminator. So, yeah, really crazy. Somewhat underrated. I think he actually beats a lot of guys outside of the top five. Basically, 90% of them, to be honest. And, yeah, Alexander Volkov, another underrated fighter. But yeah, that is the video, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Comment down below who else I should put on this tier list and why. Obviously, I can't fit everyone on. I just can't think of every single fighter on the roster at once. And obviously, time constraints and stuff like that. So yeah, but I just want to thank you guys so much for watching. Leave a like if you enjoyed this tier list. Subscribe if you're new. I do content like this every single week, so you're not going to want to miss any of it, and put your notifications on. And also, I've got members now. Join that. You get exclusive badges and icons, and you also get exclusive videos. So, you know, more videos. What more can you want? And yeah, thank you guys for watching. I'll see you guys in the next video. See ya.